Hi everyone, welcome back to another sewing tutorial with me. In this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to create this sexy two-piece outfit that was originally designed by Rick Owens, an amazing designer, and it was worn by the iconic Kim Kardashian. We will be creating a one-sleeve crop top, matching it with a high-waisted skirt with a tie-high split. For the original design, they went with this gray cozy knit fabric, but I decided to go with this athletic ribbon knit fabric that I've been quite obsessed with pretty much the whole year, if I'm being quite honest. I used this fabric for all of the athletic tops that I designed this year, and because I love it so much, I wanted to give it a chance to prove to me that I can do more than just athletic wear. So I'm taking a small risk today, but that's okay. We will be making the patterns for this tutorial from scratch. I know that drafting patterns can be a little overwhelming, especially for someone that is just starting off. So I'm going to teach you my easy way to create patterns so you can start feeling a little more comfortable with the process. In the picture, she's also wearing these sultry lace-up heels that go above her knee, and they look amazing with the outfit. So I bought this knit ribbon. I thought I would add to a similar pair of heels that I already own, in hopes that this New Year's outfit will come out as identical as possible as the one that Kim Kardashian is wearing. Nonetheless, let's get started. To create the one sleeve crop top patterns, I used this long sleeve top that I found in my closet. This is my easy way of creating patterns. Using a similar piece of clothing that you already own and that fits you exactly how you would like it will minimize the amount of measurements you need to collect in order to create something from scratch. Whenever I'm constructing a garment for a customer, I like to get their measurements, but I always request a similar piece of clothing that is to their desired fit. So during the process, I'm able to refer back to that garment to make sure that the measurements are congruent to one another. This top is a bit longer than my desired length, so I measure from my neck down to how long I would like it to be, and I fold in the remaining of it and pin it in place like so. Fold the shirt with the front side out and make sure you match all edges. For the sleeve curve, I like to use a pin to poke through the hemline. I do it a few times up and down until I feel like it's visible enough, and as I do that, I stretch the fabric to make sure I get it exactly the same. Now just trace around the half shirt. For the front neckline, I would like it to be higher, so I am adding a few centimeters up and connecting it to the original shoulder line. Trace the little holes from the shoulder line down to the armpit line. Sorry that they're not visible through the camera. Now, just follow the same steps for the back piece. And for these two patterns, you will cut one of each on fold. Place the front side of the sleeve on the paper and poke through the shoulder slope. Draw a cross at the shoulder and arm line like so, and trace all around the first half sleeve. Flip the sleeve over to the other side and align it with the middle line, and follow the same steps. Make sure you label which one's the front and back. I decided to add an extra seam allowance as I'm cutting around the patterns. And these will be all the pattern pieces you will be needing to create the one sleeve crop top. When you are creating a top at all, it is important that you keep in mind that the front and the back shoulder slope have different measurements. The front curves a little bit lower than the back. And as for the shoulder line, the back will always be higher than the front. I am adding some pattern notches to these patterns, and notches are what helps you align your pattern pieces together once it's cut on fabric. For the front and back bodice pieces, you want to match some notches on the side and shoulder. And for the sleeve, you want to match some at the sleeve curve with the shoulder slope for the front and back. Now I'm going to make a wraparound skirt. That's the easiest way that I was able to think about how to make this skirt. So we're gonna start off by wrapping it around. And then you need to figure it out how high, how low you want it. My belly button is right here, and I want it right above my belly button, just like she's wearing it in the picture. Just need to figure it out where we want the slit and how high we want it. And I'm gonna go about right there, I wanna say. So you can still see my leg here, right? And then a little bit falls in it, maybe a little bit less, because in the picture, she's showing a lot of leg. And I wanna go as close as possible as that. So right there, maybe. And I'm gonna use a little pin of these to grab it. Okay, cool. Now for this part, this is too long, where you can't see the slip until all the way down. So what we want is maybe get rid of some excess fabric. And just to give you an example, I'm going to fold this, and then I'm going to grab it and put it right here. You can use a pin or something if you like. Now, I don't want it to be this open because that's too revealing. I'm gonna go a little bit lower, maybe to right here would look a little bit better. I think that's about right. You're the designer, you are creating this for yourself, so make sure you do this to your liking. If you want to show a little more, show a little more. If you want to show a little bit less, show a little bit less. So now that I know how much fabric I will be using, I'm going to grab it with a little, you can do a pin, you can do a safety pin, or if you have some clips, you can do some clips. If you don't have any of that, then maybe use some scissors and cut at the edge so that you can know where you're gonna start cutting. Okay, so now that this is done, that we have figured out the slip and we know how much we need to get rid of, now we need to figure out how long we want it. The easier way that you can do that is by measuring yourself with the measuring tape and just putting it on the table, measuring the length on the fabric and getting the exact same amount. This is where we decided that we are going to cut right here. And right here I'm marking how long I decided I want my skirt to be. Now I'm just marking it with a pin so that I can know exactly where I'll be cutting. I forgot to show this part, but make sure you mark where you will be connecting each side of the skirt. I've already got the fabric to the right measurements for the skirt. Now I just need to hem all the raw edges. Once you have done that, bring one side in up to the second marking and fold the top edge about 1 centimeter in. Pin that folded part in place and sew a straight stitch right at the top without sewing the fold. Now bring the other side up to the second marking and sew in place without sewing it to the back side. Measure how much you would like to cover and pin it down in a diagonal line like so, and sew a straight stitch. For the crop top, place the back piece right side up and then place the front piece wrong side up, placing them right sides together. Sew a straight stitch at the shoulders and both sides. For the sleeve, I added 3 inches to the bottom because I wanted to give it that ruched up look like the original design. Fold the sleeves right sides together and sew at the raw edge. Flip the bodice and sleeve right side up. To attach the sleeve, begin by connecting both armpit areas right sides together and pin them down. Flip them wrong side out and continue to pin them around the armhole. And sew in place. Once everything is sewn together, flip the crop top right side out. Because of the way that this fabric is knit together, I don't necessarily need to hem the raw edges. I really like the way it looks like this, but if your fabric doesn't end with a clean look, your last step would be to hem down all the raw edges of your crop top.